Hey there, how's it going? Davidinark back with another Driving with Dave, or whatever we're calling this. Hope you're having a great week. And man, I wish I could flip the camera around so that you could see. Can you see this? Oh, it went by too fast. It was a little red truck hauling a Christmas tree. Anyway, so interesting things happened this week, especially in terms of BeamNG, as many of you know, hopefully by now. New update 0.34 came out with the 1930s hot rod vehicles, trucks, some cars. So cool. So much fun. Absolutely great update. Uh, Interestingly enough, I saw a couple of comments on a few of the posts uh, saying that they wish BeamNG would come up with, I wish it would add some more modern cars to the game. Listen, it's got several modern cars, or even at least relatively modern. The fact that they went way old school with this, from my personal perspective, very cool. And if you've not already checked it out, go check out my initial first look video, and it's brief. It doesn't even scratch the surface. So one of the things I'll be doing is I'll do a more comprehensive update where we basically go bullet point by bullet point and talk about all the different stuffs that the update has to offer. Along the same lines, they released a hot fix for the update because the update had a few bugs and glitches, and so it's just some things to iron out. That always happens. In fact, it won't surprise me if by Christmas we don't have at least one more hot fix. Again, that's perfectly normal. That's the way it is. As always with an update, folks are not happy about losing mods and losing career progress and et cetera. Listen, you got to remember that this is, early access, alpha versions, and to that end, very early alpha versions. I mean, we're on 0.34, and who knows where that number is going to go. So, there is that. But yeah, so definitely some cool stuff happening with BeamNG. Whoa, BeamNG drive railroad tracks. And also, I just watched a video, or at least part of a video, about what's going on with Valve and Steam and their whole marketing situation, if you will. I, I'm not a game developer, so I've never, listed a game on Steam. I don't know how all that works. All I know is I, buy stuff. I'm a consumer. I'm the end consumer. But apparently, if you're a dev and you are releasing content on Steam, they require 30% of your take, so whatever you're selling it for, they get 30% regardless. And then on top of that, you are apparently not allowed to list your software any lower than what the Steam price is. So you can't undercut on another site, not even your own website, to sell your software. And so a lawsuit came up, I guess maybe a couple of years ago. Anyway, a judge has not only agreed that this is bad practice, but also has apparently modified the case so that it is going to be a class action lawsuit. And I don't know, it's going to be interesting. The conversation that came up in the video that I watched was which one was going to be more cost effective, for Steam to just go ahead with the class action suit and figure out what the payment penalty is going to be, or to go ahead and adjust their schedules ahead of time, now, and hope to fend off the class action lawsuit. Here's the thing about that. Even if Steam does change their pricing schedule today, let's just say today, they're like, hey, you know what? You can list your stuff wherever you want to. and we're not taking 30% anymore. We're going to take 20%, just for the sake of argument, to throw some numbers out there. That's all well and good for currently existing well, I say currently existing, for anything on sale or not for sale as of, the day they make that change. That does not cover what has happened in the past. So I truly think that they're going to end up in a class action lawsuit no matter which way you cut it. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. It's also fascinating to me that we are in a position where a lot of companies are seeing this kind of backlash, right? We've seen it with Apple and their pricing and their App Store limitations. We've seen it with now Steam. We've seen it with other platforms. I don't know. It's going to be fun to watch to see what happens with the development industry over, I would say, the next few years. So that is also going on in the world as we approach closer to Christmas. So speaking of, what are some of the things on your Christmas list? That's what I want to know. I want to know, what are some of the things you as a viewer, you're watching, hanging out, I don't know, what do you want for Christmas? Tell old Santa Claus. I wish. I truly do. I would love to win. This is why I would love to either win the lottery or be in the position where I had the means available to do that kind of, Christmas wish listing stuff. And here's the thing about that. You don't have to have billions of dollars to do something like that. There are plenty of opportunities in your neighborhood where you've got, the Christmas tree angels or whatever they call them in your neighborhood. Is my camera turning? I'm turning and the camera's going with me. Good luck with that particular angle. But in any case, you can also do things like you can find out who's got something on layaway at Walmart or whatever other local store, and see if there's a layaway that you can either pay off or help pay down, or even if you just randomly slip somebody $5 or $10. I mean, it really can make a difference in somebody's life. Having said that, I would love to be in the position where I had the money to be able to just say, hey, we're doing a special Christmas thing, what's on your list? And be able to just, I don't know, surprise folks, preferably anonymously. I prefer to do my gift giving where the recipient doesn't know that it was me, because there's really no reason for them to know that it was me. So I'm not in it for the glory. I'm certainly not going to record it and put it on social media to pump me up, make me look, oh, look what I'm doing for everybody. I'm giving them free money. I'm giving them a new laptop, blah, blah. No, I'm sorry. I get the premise of some of the folks who do that, who believe they're not doing it for themselves. They're just trying to show, they say, they're just trying to, show people's reactions and blah, blah. And yeah, I'm sure some of that is very heartwarming and heartfelt. But at the end of the day, if the fact that you're recording it and posting it online, that's all about the person who is doing the recording and posting. That has nothing to do with the person who is receiving. And yes, that even goes for some of the biggest named YouTubers out there, and content creators, influencers, whatever you want to call them. If you are showing the act, then you're not doing it for your own, I don't know what you want to call that, your own personal growth, your own, your own, you're not doing it for yourself. And I'm not saying that we should be doing it for ourselves, but you're also not doing it for the other person. Sorry, you're just not. If you are recording, this is just me talking, but if you're recording your good deeds in order to show the world your good deeds, that's definitely not about the other person. That is all about you. and showing everybody what a great person you are. I don't buy that. I think that whenever possible, that if you're going to do good things for people, that just do them. You don't have to yell it and shout it and scream it and post it. No, just do the thing. And frankly, I would rather do the thing and never get credit ever, and just know that I helped someone do whatever it was that they needed help with, or, like I said, doing it anonymously. If you're a believer, the Bible straight out says, do it in secret. Do those things in secret. And that's something that I believe. I know not everybody does. And hey, it's you do you do you, but just saying, for me. So what would be on, so getting back, I do want to know, I am very interested to know, what is on your wish list, what's on your Christmas list. I'm looking, I've asked for, or whatever, it's on my list, for a 4K monitor finally. So hoping that I get a 4K monitor for Christmas, and then I'm going to attempt to upload 4K content. We'll see how that works. I don't know. Frankly, I don't know if my computer, I know my video card will handle 4K, no problem. I don't know what my CPU is going to do with 4K. It made me like, I'm not doing this. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. So that is also, a new CPU is on my upgrade projection list. I'm not going to put that on a Christmas wish list, frankly, because that's from my perspective, that's way over budget for one ticket item. But hey, but so there's that. I'll be honest, I can't even remember what all I put on my actual list that I sent to everybody, to all my family. That's one thing. I don't know. Is that something you guys do? Is that something that you do? You have a list that you send out to everybody and say, hey, here's my wish list. Whether it's an Amazon wish list, a Walmart wish list, or just a list of stuff. Is that something that you do? I don't know. I'd be interested to know how common that is. But that's one of the things that we do in my family is everybody sends out a list of stuff, and you're not going to get everything on the list. But it's just a list of, hey, this is what I'd like to have. Like on mine, generally, there's always Steam cards, because we can always use Steam money, those of us that are, doing the gaming thing. And so, and even development, there are really cool development tools available on Steam, after I just, railed them for their practices. But still, they are the boss, they are the king of software distribution. So it is what it is. Yeah. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else on my. So just for the sake of argument, let's say it is no holds barred, and you could have anything for Christmas. What would you? And I mean anything. I know a lot of times it's Christmas, and yes, would we like world peace? Sure. Would we like to do away with hunger? Of course we would. Would we like to get rid of cancer? Abso-freaking-lutely. But the things that are tangible, that are more in grasp with what we could receive, or that we could have happen, what are those kinds of things that you would like to have? So, for example, I talked about having getting an upgraded CPU. At the end of the day, if it was a brand new computer, that would be awesome. Just get the whole shebang. Just one fell swoop. That way I'm not messing with pieces and parts, which is perfectly fine. I mean, I've got freaking over 30 years of experience messing with pieces and parts, and taking computers apart and putting them together and all that hoo-ha. But if it came all together, I will tell you my problem with that, though, is that it's going to come with all the stupid RGB and all the glass, and that is, I'm old school. Okay, I like my solid. Now, I don't prefer a beige case, but I like a black case. I like a solid black case, you know, yes, it's got to have the airflow. I get that, but I don't need glass panels. I don't care about RGB. In fact, the less light that it makes, the better. Just, but as a matter of fact, in my current case, which does have a glass panel, I actually swapped to the side so the glass panel is on the underside of the motherboard where there is no RGB. And then I have the solid panel on the outside. And then I went into every possible software setting I could find in my system to disable whatever RGB there is. And then whatever RGB I couldn't, because like even the motherboard has, you know, certain little LEDs on them or whatever, I covered it, either electrical tape or I got black paint. I don't care. I don't care about all the lights. The only light that I remotely care about, well, there's two of them, I guess. I am a power light person and I am a hard drive activity light person. And as far as really as far as both of those go, I'm actually shifting. I am shifting away from either of those, mostly because I use a MacBook Air in my daily work life, and of course, you know, it has no power light and no hard drive light, you know, activity light. So I've become accustomed to just watching the computer sit there and guessing whether or not it's doing something. But you know, it is what it is. So, but as far as that goes, that would be kind of cool. I've got a nice steering wheel for my computer, steering wheel and pedals. I can't remember which one I've got. It's the Logitech. I think it's the 920. I know, like there's or is it the 290? I don't know. I know like there's one version where it doesn't have the zero, and that's the more expensive flavor. Of the two options, I have the least expensive one. That was also a gift, which was awesome. I got that several years ago, and I play with it every now and then. I'll tell you what, one thing that would also be, I think would be very cool, not practical in my house at all, but I think one of the things that would be cool would be, I love the idea of having like the true to life dashboard setup with the readouts and the controls, and I don't know, that is so cool. My daily driver in real life is a mango orange 2017 Dodge Charger, and I would love to have a dash from a Dodge Charger as my gaming setup, just because I think that would be so cool. That would be fun. But you know, that would require much bigger items on my wish list. A new house for one. So anyway, yeah, I'm just looking forward to. I'm in education, so I get to have an extended holiday break that starts, as I'm recording this, that starts next week. No, not next week, technically the week after next week. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to having that time away from work. Here's the thing, and I don't remember if I've talked about this on the channel or not, but in terms of teachers and what teachers work and what they make and how their pay is structured, you know, people are like, well, you know, teachers, you know, they get paid for Christmas break, and no, they don't. Here's the way this works, and this is why people think that teachers get paid for breaks, you know, Christmas break, spring break, you know, whatever breaks they're getting off. No, they don't. Teachers, anybody in education, I keep saying teachers, but it's anybody in education, at least in Arkansas, are contracted for X amount of days, right? So most teachers are on contract for 190 to 210 days a year they have to work. So their contracts are set up to where they get paid X amount of money for X amount of days, right? So just for the sake of argument, they get paid $50,000 for 200 days of work. Okay, so you can figure out how that works. those 200 days do not include 2 weeks of Christmas break. They do not include Thanksgiving break. They do not include spring break. They do not include any of those days where the campuses are shut down. Teachers are not paid for those days. The reason why they still get a paid check during that time is because most school districts, again, especially in Arkansas, but this is my understanding generally across the board, they take your salary and they divide whatever your salary is by 12 months so that you get a monthly paycheck every time. So yes, off 2 weeks of Christmas, be like, well, you get paid for those 2 weeks. No, I don't. I'm getting paid my salary divided by 12. And that's why I can have a monthly check. If they didn't do it that way, then you would get for the sake of argument, you would get a 2-week paycheck in December, and then you would not get a paycheck until 2 weeks into January. All right, assuming you get paid once a month. So, and then on top of that, during the summer, you would not get any pay at all. And so now, would your individual paychecks be higher? Sure, because you're getting less of them. Not to mention, I can't imagine the bookkeeping nightmare that would be. And I'm sure until somebody figured out, hey, let's just divide it by 12 and call it good. I'm sure before that, it was a nightmare. But it's divided by 12. So if you think about it in whatever you do for work, especially if you're salaried, it's much easier to figure out. But even if you are hourly, figure up your hourly times 40 hours a week times however many days a year you actually are contracted to work, or the days that you work. Figure that up, all right? Then whatever days you have, whatever holidays you have, federal holidays, if you get Christmas Day off, if you get Thanksgiving Day off, and then whatever days around those, you get those off, but they're not necessarily paid days off. Those are calculated as part of your salary or your pay. Now, I know some places, yes, that is a paid day off. So yes, you actually do get paid for that day. And hey, that's awesome. And that's great for the companies that do that. But in a lot of cases, or in many cases anyway, from my personal experience, that's not the case. That day, you get it off, you're not having pay withheld, but it's only because your pay is already calculated into in my case, division by 12. Or if you get paid twice a month, then it is based on a division of 24. So anyhow, I don't even remember why I got off on that. But anyway, just there you go. A quick little summation as to how most educators are paid and the misconception that they are paid for all these breaks. No, not even close. So how does summer work, by the way, as I pull in here to start my work day? How does summer work for teachers? The way summer works is that for most districts, at the end of the school year, so we're talking like May or June, in like the districts where I've worked, in June, you get your July and August paycheck. So you get technically end of June. So you get 3 paychecks at one time, and that covers the rest of the year. Some districts, they just continue to roll that out each month. So it's still, you get your June check, then you get a July check, then you get an August check, even though you're not in school, you're not on contract, you're not being paid for those days. The money that you're being paid is for the money that covered the days that you were working. So anyway, there you go. We'll see how this works in editing, since I had to do a weird little cut there. But anyway, as always, thanks for coming along for the ride. Who knows what the heck we'll talk about next time. I appreciate it. If you got some stuff you want to talk about, you want me to talk about, let me know down in the comment section below. I appreciate it. I'm Davidinark. We'll see you next time.